This is Mom Curious. I'm Daniela Rabbani, and we talk about womanhood, motherhood, and the spaces in between. But what about the space you actually live in? Like your home, like your room, like your living room, like your kids' room. What about those spaces? So I have scoured the internet for the place and person to talk to about our spaces. This is the Mom Curious podcast, where we say the quiet part out loud about womanhood, motherhood, and everything in between.
And I still have a couple of the vials.
Shut up!
No, you shut up. I kept them. So
You're just hoarding sperm?
No.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
That was a joke about 30, like my mid-30s, when like my body started changing and stuff after shitting out 3 kids.
Stop taking advice from people on the internet, like myself included.
And I didn't realize how heavy that would be, and that loving my children would not be enough to make me not a basket case.
And that gave me the freedom to do something for myself.
And it's an adventure that is not just all doom and gloom.
You know better, and if you didn't, now you know better. Welcome, Lauren Behfarin from Little Room Supply.
This is so fun.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I put up a question box for people to ask you questions about their spaces, and you know, we most of our audience is in New York City, so let's just say we were very popular that day. And so I have a bunch of questions from listeners.
I love questions.
But we got to set the stage and let them know, who are you, what is the Little Room Supply, and what's your mission?
Thanks. Little Room Supply is new. It's my newest baby. So I'm a mom of 3. We're in New York City, but my newest endeavor is Little Room Supply. I am an interior designer. I specialize in children's spaces, and that kind of was guided by my own life experience. Once I had 3 kids, as a mom, all you can think about are kids. And so when I was going to work every day, my thought was always, oh, that bin is in the wrong space, or you're setting yourself up for disaster if you're going to have kids one day. And so my brain was just constantly on it. And I said, this is going to be my niche, is interior design for kids spaces. So I've been doing that for over 12 years. And then 3 months ago, I transitioned and opened Little Room Supply.
Oh, she's like a newborn
She's
baby.
like a newborn. Yeah, she's in her nursery.
Yay.
So we just launched 3 months ago, but I've been working on it for almost a year now. And it really was just born out of my experience working with clients. So it's a e-design space where you can hire me for e-design, but it's also a retail store. So it's all the brands that I've been working with for over 12 years, some new brands, some ones that are my tried and true for clients. And I wanted to give people that I can't work with, because there's only so many people you can work with and only so many people in New York City. And so I wanted people to have a place where they can go to design their kids' rooms. And it felt like working with me because it's curated and deeply selected, and I create bundles and moments where, you know, it really feels like you're working with a designer, but you're on a retail website, and that's kind of the vibe that we're creating for people.
So talking about vibes, is it your goal for the room to be aesthetic or functional, or
all those things have to be considered? Families make mistakes many different places in this.
No one makes families making mistakes.
No, you know, it's kind of our MO, but in spaces it happens. And some of it is everything's too functional and not enough of consideration for the aesthetic. And some we've gone too much into the aesthetic and not enough into the function. So I'm really here to help families kind of create those durable, beautiful moments. You don't have to sacrifice beauty for functionality.
I feel like beauty is functional, and I'm going to piece this apart a little bit, because I just think when you walk into a home and it's a mess, when you I have ADHD, and so like cleaning up is like, it's so overwhelming for me. But when I walk into my space and it's not beautiful, it really affects me. It affects my productivity. It affects, and I have to assume that like my children are people too, so it'll affect them also.
It does. Research shows that rooms that aren't organized or accessible or with clear expectations for different stations in the room, that affects children. It causes anxiety, it causes misbehavior. Like there's so much we can do in their space to set them up to have a great day. And that's the underlying goal, and it's a thread through which I design. So I make sure that I am creating the spaces to help them and to provide that extra layer of support. Obviously parenting and school and all those things are important, but where they come home and spend their day and their time after school, or if they're babies, they're really spending their whole day in there. I mean, there's so much we can do to set them up for their developmental progress, and that's what I concentrate on in my design. Obviously, you don't notice it as much. You're noticing a beautiful pillow or a beautiful chair, but there was thought and purpose in that.
And have you done like the research on like the development of children? Is that part of your job?
There is a lot of research, and I do read on it. But also, I'm a mom of 3, and we've shared rooms, we've had individual rooms, we've had babies, we're hitting tween age.
Wow.
I know it's a big deal for us, but we're getting through all these phases with our children, and as a mom, like what better research than I'm living it and doing it, and I'm in it. And so and also I've had so many clients over the past 12 years, so I'm growing with them as well, and I'm learning. It's kind of like extra data that I get to experience every day. When my clients, I did their nursery, and then they call me 5 years later and like, oh, Lauren, we need help. It's not the same room, and it's so beautiful, and we don't want to mess it up, but it's not functioning the same.
Yeah, that's the big question for me is like, I have 2 kids. They're 9 and 6.5, and we've lived in the same place for most of their life, same apartment, and we have changed roomes. We've changed
Layouts.
Layouts. I mean, layouts. We change literally every season, and like really investing in the design feels like, well, I'm not sure what their needs are going to be literally next year.
Right.
So how do I look forward? I guess that's why
I have 2 client kind of profiles. One of them is what you just explained. One is we don't want to design that room at all because it's going to change so much. And one is we want it perfect, and to last for the next 15 years. Both of those are not realistic.
Right.
And so what I like to do is come in and say, I hear you, but. And those rooms, if you have in your mind that they're going to be adaptable and changeable, and you are adaptable to that and understanding of that, we can make really special rooms that maybe are not going to exist the exact same way when you designed a nursery to when they were 15, but we can, make sure that there's moments that will change. So things I really like to invest in and not change are rugs. Like we can choose something neutral, interesting, a texture, a pattern, but something that can grow, and that's an expensive piece of furniture or accessory that you're putting into your child's space. So we like to keep the rug. Wallpaper, I like to choose something. It doesn't have to be neutral. It could still be fun. It could still be leaves. It could still be like a tie-dye. It could be something cool, but it doesn't have to necessarily be little baby bunnies for your nursery.
So you give them a heads up.
So
or you would give them a heads up if you work one-on-one with them.
Yes.
Baby bunnies won't last, you just a heads up.
And
on
maybe
that.
some people don't mind. They're moving in 2 years and they really want this Pinterest perfect nursery, and we can do that. So there's many different things, but I like to say that wallpaper, custom window treatments, and rugs are those, for me in our home, when I know we're staying, are those non-negotiables that are not changing.
Really ever, like through the tween years.
Yeah. If you do it right, it's through the tween years. My daughter has had the same rug from nursery to now 12.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And then when it comes to like toys and storage and
Stuff.
This is what
Stuff.
people, I mean, I'm going to start whipping
They
out
just
these
accumulate
questions
stuff.
because the stuff, actually, I posted
What about
on
Neatos?
What is that?
Neatos. They're all collecting these Neatos. I think I've bought hundreds of Neatos squishies.
I don't know them
They
yet.
need a home. Yeah.
Well, my son actually makes a lot of Legos.
Yeah.
He's very talented. My like china closet from Restoration Hardware is
Like
filled.
a display case for Legos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of our like china from my parents that I don't use actually is like in storage, and that is his Lego space, which is interesting.
Well, because they work so hard on it.
Well, it's actually really. I think his work is really actually beautiful, and I'm very proud of him, and he's very proud of it, and also like the overflow is in our living room, all over our living room.
And they feel proud when you're displaying it somewhere outside of their space.
So you approve.
I approve.
I'm really just seeking approval, obviously. This is what I'm doing here. Not true. But I also am just like, what do we do with all the stuff? What's the system of getting rid of stuff? I mean, there are, on the WhatsApp group, the mom group that I posted in, by the way, and I was like, oh, Lauren's coming on. They were so excited. But they really got into a deep dive on all their kids' trinkets, what to do with the trinkets, how to display the trinkets, the acorn that they have to keep. That
they found in the park and is now some magical item that will never leave. Yes.
The leaf that's inevitably going to decompose in their bed, but they need to sleep with it, whatever that is.
Yeah.
What is the system of getting rid of the stuff they bring in and the stuff we buy?
Right.
Because it's a lot of
It's a lot.
stuff.
And gifts and...
I mean, how lucky are we that we have stuff? But it's a lot.
No. Well, I'm a New Yorker, so we are big purgers. We don't have attics and basements. Like, we cannot keep things forever. So there are days when my kids are at school and there is a toss of things they haven't looked at in 2 years, and if they're not watching you throw it away, they're never going to miss it. So yes, there has to be a sense of purging. You have to be comfortable with that. Kids really do accumulate things in different phases. I was telling you earlier, my son used to be obsessed with figurines. Like, when he was not obsessed with figurines, I went in, took out that drawer and cleaned it out. He didn't even notice.
Yes, but you know what's weird? My son was obsessed with figurines, and we got a bunch of figurines, and then one day I realized my life is managing these figurines. So I gave them away, and actually a year later I'm like, where's Buzz? Me. Yeah. Like, I feel nostalgic.
I do keep like the special ones that
make me think. But what if you throw out the special one and you don't realize it's special until a year later?
Well, you got to keep a couple things. Mementos are really important. Your kids are only young for so long. You have to keep those special mementos. I keep them kind of in a fresh direct bag, to be honest, but in a closet, in a fresh direct bag.
I wouldn't have seen that, but I appreciate it.
It's in a closet.
For you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Those bags are very useful.
They really are. They're huge.
Huge. And they expand, durable. And they're really durable. Yeah, they're great.
Fresh direct
bags for storage.
In case you're wondering. I keep their mementos in like a little box also, but actually I keep them in many boxes because at this point there are many mementos.
Right.
And then sometimes I mess up and I give away Buzz Lightyear and I miss him.
Yeah. But they won't. So you'll be okay.
But they won't.
They won't.
That's right. Yeah, they won't. So on this group chat, I want to just tell you that there are like moms who are totally ruthless, and they're like, what do I do with my 1,000 trinkets my daughter collects daily, from marbles to rocks to gems and scrapbooks? The amount of laughing emojis in reaction to that is like 20.
Because it's so much. So I like to keep a bowl. Somewhere.
Okay, great.
So wherever is accessible, the top of a dresser, the side table, and that's their like week's favorite things. So the acorn they found in the park, the marble that a friend traded them at school, a new figurine, that goes in the bowl. And everything else has a space and has to be put away. And it's an interactive moment. So your child is choosing their whatever fits in whatever size bowl you found, and that's it. So take those things, make those things special. I honor that you really feel connected to it.
I honor that.
I honor that for you. And the rest needs to be put away in a drawer, in a basket, in a bin, in a place that's accessible. I'm not putting it at the top of a closet in a fresh direct bag that you can't access. But you are... Not yet. But
or the garbage.
Garbage one day. But like for now, you will be able to keep the rest of your stuff, just not out.
Right. Right.
And you will have access to it.
My son has a lot of stuff that's out, and I think he's 9, so it's not like park things. It's like school things, things that he's made, things that he's interested in, his memories.
Yes. So now they get like awards and trophy things
so
from
many
sports.
Awards and trophies,
yeah. Yeah, so I also really like bulletin boards and wall boards. So that's a way to get things off of counter spaces and up onto a wall. So, I mean, there's so much vertical space that we're not utilizing. So whether you're hanging a basket, using a bulletin board, a pin board, a magnetic board, we have some great ones on the website, but anywhere you can find them. And that's a way to utilize your vertical space and get that stuff off countertops. I find, and I know it's true for children too, that stuff, that clutter that they walk into their space, I know it's stuff that they love, but in the end, it's very hard for them to concentrate through their day with all that stuff around. So like I'll watch my children or clients sit at a desk that we've created so beautifully, but then they're so easily distracted by the beautiful Legos that they had created or their artwork or their ceramics. Like you're just giving them more ways, especially if you're talking about an ADHD child, like you were just saying for yourself.
No.
Like
yeah, me.
there's just
I'm the
so
ADHD
well one day in the past you were a child, and all that stuff is very distracting. And so cleaner spaces, but cleaner spaces and cleaner surfaces are better for them.
Yeah, it's true. I can attest to that. I can attest to like the ADHD brain really needing a clear, space. That's a real thing, and it's probably true for a neurotypical person.
It's
also
true for everybody.
But it's
type A also has that problem.
yeah. But the vertical space is great to know because, like, you know, if I'm gonna get to the questions because I'm like looking at the time and I'm like, you know what, these people they
deserve answers.
But we don't have a lot of space in the city,
right?
As you mentioned, so like. We need the lower space for smaller bodies for storage and putting things away.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We need them for books that are accessible.
Yes.
We need them for, storage under the bed.
Yes.
And like actual furniture. But what I want to do is build something where I can put his Legos up.
Yeah. So when I walk into client spaces, there's two mistakes that I always see. The first is three. There's first, the first is, I could keep going, but three big ones. The first is a lack of texture. So you've put everything in wood or everything in upholstered velvet or everything, whatever your texture is, you've gone too deep into one. And so you need to balance that. The second, and this is what we were just talking about, is scale and height. So if everything is the same height, like your bed, your side table, your dresser, like you find yourself kind of at this like mid-room height, there's no intrigue. Your eye is just stagnant to the middle of the room. It makes the space feel shorter. It makes you feel more enclosed. As opposed to adding height, you realize, oh, this room goes up. This room expands. This room has low points. You need different heights of your furniture. So your desk and your dresser maybe end up at that kind of desk height, but then you need a taller bookcase or a lower poof. You need to add heights. And then the third is color. People choose one color, one tone, and reuse it. So they think that if I've used navy and it's the trim of my sheet and I want navy in the wallpaper and navy in the rug, they take the same exact navy tone, and that is so flat. And what you should be doing is maybe pulling a little teal and pulling a lighter blue and like pulling in your tones of blue.
For aesthetics?
For aesthetics.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
Yes.
I feel pretty good about my space in terms of height because we actually have a climber. I don't know if you saw.
Yes, I saw.
Yeah.
It looks so awesome.
It's a climber that's on the wall.
There's your height.
That they use it. Yeah, I don't know that they use it so much when their friends are not around, but when friends come over, they're like, it's a tree house for them. It's a swing set for them.
Yeah.
It's like my little nod to a backyard. Although I also call when you walk into my apartment, there's like, you know how like there are like two living rooms that there's like there's like the sitting room, and then there's the watching TV kind of space. That first space, it has like a gymnastics bar and a drum set, which like is great for their independent play.
Right.
Like I gotta get,
Right.
I can't keep putting them in front of the television, but
Right.
it's such an eyesore.
It's an eyesore. That's hard. Once you've kind of permeated other spaces, it's hard to get it out. But I get it. I mean, also there's things on our site and brands that you can find that have those basketball hoops or things that are, you know, much more mature colors.
Right.
Like instead of neon orange and navy, you're finding basketball hoops that are tan and beige and cream. And so maybe when they do get into your living area, it's not as much of an eyesore.
Yeah. So we call that space the backyard. I happen to have like a tree, like a very large IKEA has this like very large IKEA tree. I don't know, picture. And then like anyway, he throws a ball there. Like it's like their space, but I think I did see that there are like gymnastic bars that are in a neutral color. So I might look
or
for
like
that.
play mats that you can unfold that are in a neutral color.
Yeah, I mean, I have to just admit that they need to move their body. Like a
Well,
little
it's also
boy,
New York City. Like
really needs
we
to
don't
move.
have the backyard, we don't have the basement, so we are gonna have to understand that they will kind of sneak into our spaces.
Yeah,
And we have to be okay with that.
yeah. Speaking of sneaking into our spaces, my children share a room, and I have the sense, and actually this was a big question on the mom chat, kids sharing room who are opposite sex.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be an issue, but I do think that they need privacy. And like delineated spaces where like,
Yes.
oh man,
Yes.
how am I going to make sure that it's equal size?
Yes.
I gutted my daughter's closet so that her space would
Oh, she
feel
could
a little,
kind of flow into there.
yeah. So she
Smart.
could- and she likes to
Smart.
like,
You can use closets like that where you can kind of sneak a little desk into an old closet space and put some shelves above and
So
still
that's-
use it for functionality, but also have kind of an extension of the bedroom.
yeah, so that's what we did there. But I'm assuming she'll need a wall. I say this because she basically just sleeps in my bed, and I want to make it a more inviting space for her where she feels like it's hers and he feels
hard.
like it's his. And I know that this is like a very personal issue that I have in my space, but turns out
No, it's-
lots of people
I mean,
are sharing rooms and
lots of kids are sharing
Yeah.
rooms, and some choose it, some it's
need it.
yeah, it's wherever you're in your life. And so I love sharing rooms. I actually think it's adorable. I think it's really good for their growth, for their connection. It's an understanding that not everything's going to be perfect and exactly how I want it, and I still have to create my own space and have my own voice. And I think there's so many positives about sharing a room. That being said, you do have to honor that they want independence and they want privacy. And how do you give them that when they are constantly sharing a room with a sibling? And if you're able, I like bunk beds for this moment.
Oh.
Because then when they're in their space, they feel alone. So they don't see each other in a bunk bed. I find for younger children, like between 4 and 10, it helps them kind of unwind and relax more at night because they're not seeing each other, giggling, making silly faces, hearing one snore, my daughter's always, he's breathing too loud. So, that helps when they're not seeing each other. So I find that bunk beds are huge. If you can't have a bunk bed or you don't have the ceiling height, I think putting the beds on the outermost walls away from each other and putting your storage, your bins, your side tables on the in between. So as much space as you can give them between each other, the better. And then give them those moments that are just theirs. Like your side table is yours. And maybe that side table has storage. So it's for their trinkets and their stuff. And that's their moment. And your other child, your son or your daughter has their side table. Then it becomes, I guess, desk moments. But that's much harder to share because of space. You can't have 2 desks always in every room. Some can, and that's great if you could slide one into a closet, but not all can. So maybe there's accessories on the desk that are just theirs, like this basket is her pens, this basket is his pens, whatever, or this drawer is his stuff for school, this drawer is her stuff for school. And it doesn't, ideally you're choosing colors that work for both boys and girls, reds, cool blues, yellow. Even there's awesome green tones that aren't too hunter green, like fun greens.
I do feel like New York kids are open to like pinks. Like my son would be
Totally
open to pink.
Totally,
Like,
but
he's
there's a
fine
way
with
to
it.
do pink. You're not doing like a pink bow blanket on his
Yeah.
bed. Like there's ways to kind of
Correct.
bring in pink that feels cool.
Like it's just a color, not
It's just a
statement
color.
of gender.
But then there's
yeah.
ways where these rooms get very chaotic. So I like the bed sheets to be matching. Because when you walk into a room and you see 2 beds, they should be as similar as possible. So maybe she has a decorative pillow and he has a decorative pillow, and those are different, or name pillows or something fun, but I like the bed sheets to be the same. So maybe they both agree on a navy, or like a white with a navy piping, or a white with a gray piping, or maybe there's a way that you found that they would kind of agree to the same sheet, and then give them decorative pillows. It makes the room feel less chaotic.
If you're listening to Mom Curious, I know that you have a particular interest in the arts, in culture, in exciting hangs that are IRL. And I know that you could use a break after the summer, quote unquote, break. So I want to invite you to a really exciting film festival that's happening on Fire Island after the kids have left and the families have departed. And it's happening September 18th, 19th, and 20th. It's going to be an incredible hang for tastemakers, industry leaders, of course, filmmakers. And I want you to be there. I'll be there too, so I'll tell you a little bit more about it. The Grove and Pines Film Festival is a love letter to Fire Island, New York. At the film festival, there will be exclusive screenings, top-tier entertainment, exciting parties, merch, secret lounges, and so much more. It's a celebration of authentic queer storytelling. It's happening September 18th, 19th, and 20th. The tickets are on sale now at groveandpinesfilmfestival.com. You wouldn't want to miss the inaugural year of a history-making festival. Grove and Pines Film Festival is a proud nonprofit 501c3 who are offering a $5,000 grant to LGBTQ filmmakers. And we can't wait to see you. So check out GAPFF.com for more details.
Yeah.
Do you ever use walls? Do you ever build walls between?
In the city, people are building those temporary walls all the time.
What do you think about them?
I think they're great. I don't know. It depends on the space, how much extra space you have to put that wall up. Sometimes you can use a beautiful curtain in a way that you put on a track in the middle of the room. There's many ways to divide the space. Personally, if I could keep it open, it's always better. Mm-hmm. But it depends how old your child is. Maybe she's 12 and she wants some more independence and some more space. There are a lot of transitional moments in a child's development in general, and then those end up trickling down into their space. And I find that when my clients are calling me, when my children are going through it, when I'm doing design, those transitional moments are usually when you switch from a crib to a bed, when you kind of might need to share a room with a sibling, or when you get a little older. I find that they're first starting to ask for things or independence in the room between 8 and 10 years old. That's when I get a lot of calls from clients when they're saying, you know, my child is starting to have an opinion. And then it's those teenage years when I get called again, and the rooms are constantly shifting, not just your child, but their function. Mm-hmm. So teenage rooms now are more hangouts. Their friends are coming over. You need space for more than just your child. Right. And what does that look like? And how do they invite friends over in a way that's comfortable and they're not sitting on your child's bed? Maybe there's a beanbag chair that you've added. Maybe there's more floor space that they can sit and hang out or do whatever they're doing, homework together.
Those nuggets actually are super helpful for just a little extra sitting space, and they last.
Yeah, and we also have a lot of beanbag chairs that I think are fun because those you can kind of pull around the room and they're not like a static chair. And then also that's when they really have to study, and those open baskets that we were just talking about of accessibility for younger kids for their independence are no longer the proper storage for a 12-year-old. She needs shelves with a bookshelf that things are holding up upright, binders. She can't have a basket of toys. No. And she can't, if she takes her toys out of the basket, she can't put books in a basket. So that's when, you know, you have to start thinking about switching out some of your storage solutions.
You mentioned books, and we're big readers in my house, and we are just like swimming in books.
That's so nice.
You'd think.
No, but of all the things to be swimming in, books feels like the right one.
Yes, but it's hard to organize.
Yes.
So do you have a method that you use? Like, I know like those, you know those bookshelves that you see the title out.
Yeah,
those
face
are
out.
for babies, right?
Those are for younger kids.
Okay, so my kids are done with
Done
that.
with that.
Where do I put their books in a way that I guess feels manageable? And do you toss the books?
No, you can't toss a book. I feel like that's...
You know, when I was growing up,
You can't toss a book.
wait,
My mom would have fainted if you tried to toss a book.
Dropped, I would pick up the book and kiss it from front to back because books are holy.
Books are sacred.
Books are sacred, but
You can't
I'm like,
throw a book.
how many books? Like,
Well, you could
how
donate.
many?
You could donate to your local libraries, your
But you can't
local
throw them out.
schools. You
Okay.
cannot throw them out.
No.
Goodwill takes books. We do. Obviously, there's a time and a place for the right book in your child's space, and so, you know, your teenager is no longer reading Where the Wild Things Are or Goodnight
but
Moon.
I'm about to keep that.
Well, you keep a
That's
couple.
for me.
You keep a couple in your Fresh Direct bag, and then you take the rest to Goodwill and you donate them.
You guys, Fresh Direct is such a great sponsor,
This is a
and
plug.
we love working with them.
This is a
so
plug.
much. No, just their bags, not the food and not the delivery, just the bag.
They
itself.
used to make you return the bags, and it broke my heart. And now I have a stash, and I feel really good about it.
Well, you need it. You
Yeah,
have
I
3
need it.
children.
I need 'em.
And you need their trinkets, their
If you-
things, their
If
memories.
you see me loading my car with clothes packed in a Fresh Direct bag, don't say hi to me that moment. But it has happened.
You haven't seen me.
You haven't seen me.
You think you saw me, but you didn't see me.
Yep.
That was our commercial for Fresh Direct. So
So
the
books.
books.
Books need shelves, obviously.
They need shelves. They need higher shelves.
They need shelves, but I also like side tables with storage. So the books that they are reading
I got
then.
one on your site actually.
Oh, I'm
in
so
my
happy.
research, I went shopping, and I got the locker.
Yes.
So I'm excited to give that to
So
my
you're
son.
gonna put the
who's
books
an
that
avid reader.
Great.
But I just
Great. So you're going to put
he
the
has
books
all
that
the
he's
books
reading.
low now.
Yeah.
They're low. They're too low, and it's not the move.
Yeah. So the ones that he's reading right now are going to go in the storage side table so he
locker
can
is
access
cool.
them.
It's
The
actually very
locker,
cool.
super cool.
Yeah.
And then the rest are going on a shelf.
Okay.
And
up high.
Up high.
Okay. I could do this.
Yes.
It's gonna be great.
You've got this.
Yeah.
And
then
you're
the
going to
rest I'm
have to
gonna donate.
purge. Yeah, you're going to have to purge.
Okay.
We're New Yorkers.
I
We do
can't-
not hold on to stuff that long. Got to
Well,
purge.
there are some people who on this group chat who say, I am evil. I say, oh, I am going to take this to your special storage box, and it goes in this trash.
That's a good one. I should actually try it.
It feels like we are constantly reorganizing. I'm more evil. I toss it, and when she asks for it, I tell her that she needs to be more responsible for her stuff.
Oh.
I love the moms.
I love the moms.
The moms and
That's
us.
why I love my job. I work with caretakers all day. It's very relatable. We joke. I think that's also kind of why I fell into it and why I'm staying in it, is because now I've turned into kind of a mentor with my job. And so that's always a fun aspect for me. We connect, we laugh. They're always asking, when did that transition happen? What was that like? Just advice, not even just design stuff,
'cause you're
just
a mom of
mom
3.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fun for me.
Yeah, it's so sweet. I know, we poke fun all the time, and sometimes I think to myself, like, I'm not complaining about motherhood. Like, I feel like
I
it's
love motherhood.
yeah, like,
But we
I
have
would-
to laugh about
we
motherhood.
must laugh at when we're being evil, because that's really fun. How to optimize closet space for shared siblings.
Oh.
We got some exclamation marks on that.
Yeah. Well, I like to label. I'm a good labeler.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can label the sides, or like, this shelf is this child's, this shelf is this child's. Obviously, wherever you can split, you should. You shouldn't be putting like all their t-shirts on one shelf. We have great bins on the site that come with labels and with chalk. So like, you can, what could be t-shirts one day could be shorts in the summer and sweaters in the winter, and you
smart.
can kind of change what that label says, which is awesome. And obviously, bins and organization and expectations, that's just easier than all your clothes are in a closet and then they just throw them back in. They don't know where they go. So
the expectation
pajama
is
shelf.
the kids are cleaning up. This
Well,
is
no, obviously, let's be realistic. The pajamas come off and stay in the bed. But on those off days where they do know where things go, you will be setting yourself up for success better than without labels or without clear delineated spaces.
and maybe one day they will clean up
Yeah, one day. One day. I hope that for everyone.
for everyone. Yeah. Okay, great. My issue now is that getting a bunk bed means moving around dressers. And we just
Yes.
don't know how to make this small space functional. But I know there's a way.
There's always a way.
Is there always a
There's
way?
always a way. I mean, we have to. Maybe the way is Facebook Marketplace and you sell that dresser, but there's always a way. Obviously, I have to be in a space to be able to walk you through it, but we are working with clients more through e-design, so there is that access to me outside of New York now. We do small packages where you can email us pictures and your measurements. We can FaceTime, you can text, and we kind of get that space set up just for you, so I can help you both with your layout, so you get a floor plan. So something like that might be more of a trained eye that needs to help you, and so I would come in and help you fix your layout. And then we also make selections both from Little Room Supply, but also because we're more of an accessories driven website, we can help you choose your bed from somewhere else, and that is just special in particular to the e-design platform that we just launched. But all the other items are on the site, and there are bundles on the site. So if you have trouble saying, like, I'm setting up this bookshelf, but how do I balance? So a bookshelf shouldn't just have rows and rows and rows of books. There should be a moment where you kind of insert a basket on one section and put some trinkets in it, or put a frame. You have to balance out kind of the flatness of the books.
Can you actually tell me what I'm seeing in those bookshelves that like look so cute when they're staged?
You're seeing balance. You're seeing a balance of empty space and closed space. You're seeing a balance of color, a balance of texture, and you're seeing not everything in a clear delineated row. So maybe one row goes almost all the way and then has a little basket. Another row is centered and has basket on either side. Another row has like a music box at the end holding up the books, or cute bookends. It's a nice way to balance the eye.
Okay. I needed that little tutorial. Back to the question. Okay. Then someone's talking about their dog. That's a whole other conversation.
We have those too, but I'm not an expert in it. Yeah, 2 of them.
You have 2 dogs and 3 children?
Yeah.
God bless.
I always think like the more wild, the more fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that like what this time of life is for?
I think so.
Yeah.
I actually, I'm surprised to hear you say that, because like the site is so clean and your aesthetic is so neat, and I just, my goal is to be like the fun house, but the fun house, when I hear you say that, is like, doesn't have to be like messy. It doesn't have to be
messy's fine. Chaotic is something I don't do.
Can you tell me?
So we don't. I really try to lower chaos. So okay, you can play all over the den floor. You can jump on the sofas. You can play with the dog in the house, but the dogs at night have a space. Their food and water is not in the middle of my apartment. It's in its own space. The kids know where their space is. The den has a space. Like, everything has a moment. So when the chaos is done and everything's put away, you're okay. You're back to functioning in my type A healthy space.
Yeah. I once had a parenting coach who would talk about the space as a third parent.
Yeah.
And how the outside informs the inside. And
I love that.
Yeah, she would delineate, like, this is the art zone, this is the movement zone, this is, but I guess it just has to make sense for you and
it
your
has
family.
To make
this
sense
is the
for
dog
what,
zone.
Right. But also, like, nothing in life is that rigid, right? So like when you're designing a kid's space, yes, I think of zones. I think of being able to have an extra seating space so that you're not reading a book at 2:00 in the afternoon and having a snack in the bed. Like, there should be one other seat somewhere, and whether that's a beanbag or a glider that you reupholstered from when they were a baby, or a window seat that you kind of put a custom pillow on, whatever that is, there should be zones, but they don't have to be so rigid. So, okay, maybe when they come with their friends, they're in the reading section, but maybe when you're with them, you're reading in the bed, and that's okay. It's just so that they know if they wanted to explore outside of whatever they were doing, that there are other spaces for them to sit, and they know where the expectation is. So do I have an art table and zone? No, but do they know that They don't color on the rug in their room. Yeah. And so maybe I do keep the art supplies where there is no rug under it, and I would prefer them to kind of pull them out there. But again, life as a mom just can't be so rigid.
Well, it's also nice to know that they have expectations
Yes.
of what happens where, which is a little bit different than rules.
Yeah.
There are rules.
Yeah.
We just are triggering the behavior,
Totally.
you know, by the environment itself. I love that so much. I when it comes to fun, I really like gross motor stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well, you do.
I have so much
You
gross
do.
motor. Like so much. And so, you know, it's hard not to get into chaos, but I also feel like in their bodies they feel better when there's a
Yes.
trampoline. In their bodies they feel better. Also, it depends on your child.
Yeah, but children need to kind of release that energy too. I mean, especially in New York City in our small apartments. Again, I could talk about this forever as being New York City thing, but when you don't have that yard, you need to give them those outlets.
Yeah.
Did you ever like play in the hallway when you were a kid?
Oh, I learned how to ride a bike in the hallway.
Really?
Are we in a room full of 5 New Yorkers?
Guys, the
Born and
hallway,
raised? Yeah,
the
we're
hallway
getting-
is
yeah.
the place to be.
My
Yes.
kids run up and down the hallway.
Up and down the hallway.
That's
So we
their,
got-
that's their track.
We got our kids these soft balls, so you can get like those quiet bounce basketballs and the quiet bounce
Yes, I
soccer
have
balls,
that.
and then we send them into the hall.
Yeah, like good neighbors.
Like good New Yorkers.
State Farm is there. Also open to your sponsorship. Okay, my kid has a quote unquote studio, no fourth wall, and a storage loft bed. I love those
I
storage
love
loft
Yeah,
beds.
because you're utilizing that vertical space.
I do love IKEA for
Love IKEA.
furniture stuff.
Yeah.
They have a loft bed. That's why I say that. Taking vibes, suggestions. That's an open-ended question. I don't know how to help you, Sarah Beth.
No,
Except to tell you.
you
great
know
job.
what? I think that's an interesting one in that we used to be so clear cut in designing a kid's room with a theme.
Yeah.
Like it would be like a woodland
Dinosaurs.
theme or a dinosaur theme, and we don't do that anymore. So people are getting lost in their design. Like, how do I make them have a personality in this room, but not design in a theme? And so people are confused in vibe, I guess, if she's calling it that. But there is a way to kind of infuse playfulness and not in a theme.
Yeah.
And again, that's where I come in. That's where we use bundles. That's where we do the e-design service. And you can kind of see that everything I've chosen in the bundle, yes, we just made a new one for girls that are bow obsessed, because that's the new thing. Yes, you can infuse bows in a thoughtful, tasteful way, and it doesn't look like the theme of the room is bow.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of, when I created that bundle, I balanced it with textures, a little bit more, like I said, with balancing color. So there's like a light pale pink, but then there's also like a deeper kind of mauve pink in the bench that feels like it could age with them. And not everything has bows all over it.
I
So
love
there's
that.
a balance.
I happen to know Sarah Beth, and that might work for her little job. But I also really like twinkle lights for kids.
So cute.
I think that's cute, right?
Those are cute. Those
they
are cute
die on me, so that's
They
a
do.
little annoying.
I get them a lot as like party favors.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, like
I don't
little
get them
like
enough as party
Amazon
favors.
$20 twinkle lights.
Okay.
Yeah, you could
great.
put them. I mean, that's so sweet.
Isn't that sweet?
You have to give these kids magical
You
moments.
must.
It's so fun. You could put them under a bunk bed, which I think is really cute.
Yeah, or the loft. My son has trouble falling asleep. This kid.
I know.
So I was thinking maybe he's 9 though. I don't know if it'll help, but you know those like projector lights?
We got one of those.
How is
Those
that?
are fun. So I like to let my kids kind of have sleepovers on the
Okay.
weekend.
Oh.
We are lucky enough that they each have their own room.
Yeah.
But I do, like I was saying before, I think there is value in sharing a space and in that connection with siblings. So our kids have sleepovers on the weekend with each other. And I let them have that like twinkle light and those moments.
Okay, great.
Those are fun.
I'm just reminded.
I
of
also think that
vibe made me think of that.
vibe.
Yeah.
The nightstand light is really important, and we have really cute
Oh.
ones on the website that are wooden in different shapes. But they also come with remotes, so like you can turn it on, set it on a timer, like it'll be on for an hour if he has trouble falling asleep. It's a very soft glow light, which is very different than an overhead light or a regular lamp. These are designed for kids' nightstands, so it's much more muted of a light. And also light is a huge part of a kid's
I know.
development. Yeah.
No, I really gotta figure
Different
this.
lights for different moods and different times of the day.
I'm gonna look into that
Mhm.
because I gotta figure this sleep thing out for him.
Yeah, so you should be technically, you should be lowering the brightness of the light in the space kind of that last half hour that they're winding down. So when you go from super bright light to lights off in your bed, that's hard.
It is.
If
It's hard
you-
for me.
If you can turn off an overhead light and access a dimmer light at that bedtime hour and still be able to read, which now in my 40s is harder. But if you can give yourself enough light to read in a dimmer light and a dimmer space and more of a wind down moment, that is really helpful for kids in that transition to falling asleep.
Okay, amazing. We have another shared room question. Top recs for kids' rooms and keeping them tidy! Exclamation mark.
Yes.
8-year-old boy and 5.5 and 3-year-old girls. Thank you.
Okay. So if they have two different beds, they could have two different under the bed storage moments. And that's really helpful. They can slide out and pull them back in. They can also have two different side tables, like I said, with storage in them. They can have two different baskets that are each their own, two different zones on the bookshelf. Maybe their books are on the bottom too, or the left side. Those moments are delineated moments are helpful.
Thank you for this. Thank you so much. Did you get any questions?
I would love to like go into everybody's room and help them, but
I mean, you can go into some people's rooms.
I know I can. I love it. It's
Actually,
my favorite.
Is that on the site also?
My design is always an option. I've been working for 12 years. We did not close that. Lauren Behfarin design is up and running, and you can hire me for full room projects, not just e-design. But that again is only New York City. So.
Oh, okay. So this is a nationwide.
This is the website. Little Room Supply is nationwide, so you can buy an e-design package if you are in Kansas.
But what if they're in Europe?
We cannot do an e-design. We are not shipping outside of the States right
that
now.
makes sense. That makes sense. I get that. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, the Europeans.
Yeah. Okay. We are rounding out our time together, so I'm going to ask you.
That was so fast and fun.
I know. I'm
I know,
having
it
a great
went by
time.
fast.
3 things to remove from your kids' room today, just based on what you see.
Clutter. Guys, you've got to be okay with throwing things away. You have to. So we remove that. I remove too many extra pillows. So 1 or 2 personality pillows, super cute. 10 pillows where they can't sleep on the bed and they're sleeping like in a little corner. Not cute.
My son with the stuffies.
Yeah, I know that's harder to throw away than a pillow, but maybe put a basket next to the bed where he can throw most of them and keep 3 or 5 on the bed.
I have a stuffy poof where the bottom is a
Oh,
zipper
yeah.
and we stuff
Put
all the
'em in.
stuffies in. When those stuffies get out, man.
Yeah, it's like they've crawled their way out of the
Oh
zipper.
my God, on a weekend?
It's wild.
It is
It's wild.
Also,
Also,
how many stuffies.
yeah.
They love those things.
Yeah,
What
or
is that psychologically?
It's psychological, but also it brings them memories, like from the time they got it. They got it from a vacation. They got it from a parent. They had it from a carnival. Like there's just so many things they've attached themselves to. It could just be like an afternoon in the park and you bought them a stuffed animal on the way home and they'll remember that. So I feel bad taking the stuffed animals.
The stuffy is so real.
I know.
Okay, wait. What about their schoolwork?
Schoolwork needs a place. It's usually around a desk, so I like to have filing cabinets in the desk. Not that they're actually filing cabinets, but it helps kind of delineate, like if you put a couple folders in there that like this was first grade, this was second grade, these are art projects kind of filed.
Oh, but do you throw out some of their work?
Yes, we have to throw things out.
The day of?
No, not the day of.
Okay.
Like slowly when they're at school.
When they're at school.
Yes, and they're not looking.
Okay.
And look, there are things that I save. I have my own motherhood filing cabinet, and I put like the little date and the age if they wrote something cute. Like, I love spending time with mom. That's the one I save.
Yeah, that's the one I save. I hate you, mommy.
Nope, garbage.
That's garbage. That never happened. I don't even know.
Garbage.
Why would I even mention that?
Who's your favorite person?
Mommy.
Saved.
Obviously. It's weird because like then, we're like curating their memories. And somehow dad is just nowhere to be found.
No,
I don't know what to tell
dad.
you.
I saved dad too.
Oh, well, good for you. Meanwhile, everyone knows he's the favorite. That's why. Okay. The one change that creates independent play.
So independent play is really something we concentrate on for the younger children. Obviously, your teenager doesn't need to foster independent play. They are constantly independent. They need to come out of their independent play.
Yeah.
But your toddlers, they need independent play, and that's things at their eye level. And again, that's when they were babies, you put everything high so they can't reach it. And around 2 and 3, you need to lower everything back down so that they can reach it and they can put their shoes on. So maybe there's shoes in like a little dresser area. Maybe there's a basket for their favorite toys. Maybe the books, that's when you do the face out bookshelves, so that, because they can't read the spine of the book. So you have to be able to, they associate it with the cover picture. So that's when you are putting those face out bookshelves in lower storage.
Brilliant. Okay, so how do we design a room that your kid actually cleans? We did mention this, and I do appreciate your honesty around that.
Yeah, so it's not always going to be clean.
Okay, great.
But you can help them. And we did talk about it, so
Yeah,
I don't want to
with the
like bore
labels.
anybody. But yeah, there are ways to aid in their cleaning.
This is more of a philosophical question, but why do you think we overfill our kids' spaces?
So much stuff. We're such an American stuff-driven hoarding culture. And we associate happiness with stuff.
Love with stuff.
Yeah. And
But so do our kids.
Well, because you did, so now they do. And so if you remove some of it and they're still happy and they still feel loved, that maybe you're helping them not associate hoarding with love and stuff.
Great.
Help them out.
Casual mic
Break
drop.
the cycle.
Break the cycle. Okay. Okay, what do you think we're avoiding when we give them more stuff?
No, I can't like psychoanalyze everybody, but you don't need stuff.
You just don't
I
need
also what I like to do is if they get a bunch, it's their birthday and they get a bunch of birthday gifts, I let them open them all. I put some in a closet high up and they have 3, and then next month I take out another 3. So they don't necessarily need to buy new stuff, but you have shifted what they have access to. So it feels new.
Access.
Yeah, so maybe you take from him 10 of the stuffies, say you're going to put them in somewhere safe and special, and in a month you switch them out. So the 10 stuffies that were on his bed are now switched for 10 new stuffies, and that's really exciting and fun for him, but he didn't get new stuff. And so you're just kind of shifting their perspective on what they're using day to day. Yeah, I mean, we're all human. If they're playing with the same 3 dolls, they're going to get bored in a few weeks and they want something new, or the doll needs a new stroller. Like, you don't have to buy it new every time. Just reshift. Maybe what's on the top shelf comes to the bottom and the bottom comes to the top, because for them, once something's gone to the top shelf, it's like it might as well have never existed.
Exactly.
So you're just shifting the layout of the space and what they have access to.
So where do we contact you? How do we follow more of your wisdom?
Oh,
And,
thanks. I don't know if it's so
maybe-
much wisdom, but I have lots to
Well,
talk about.
It's been an hour of wisdom, and there's more
Thanks,
there.
guys.
So, yeah.
Well, Little Room Supply is on and live and ready to shop, and you can kind of hear my voice through the curation and the bundles. You can work with me on an e-design project, also on the website. It's very easy to access. And then we have all of our email access there. You can follow us on Instagram. We have
Where?
Pinterest boards. Instagram is Little Room Supply. We have Pinterest boards that we're constantly posting.
Oh,
so
that's
we're
cool.
we're all around the space of design now for kids.
I hear Pinterest is. I'm never on Pinterest. Is that helpful?
It's
to you
funny
as a
because
designer?
even as a designer, I start with Pinterest. I say, tell me what you're looking for. What's your ideal? What's your goal? Give me 5 to 10 Pinterest images that are beautiful and that you resonate with, and then we design from there.
Oh, I didn't. That's awesome.
And people are constantly
gotta get
looking
on
for
there.
inspiration on Pinterest.
Yeah.
I think it's a really great place to kind of learn your own style.
Nice. Any other parting words?
Parting words are just don't take it too seriously. I think it should be fun. It should be fun for your child. It should be fun for you. And know that no matter what people tell you, like a room that stays with your child for 15 years, like that's not possible. So once you give up that idea and you adapt to flexibility, you're going to have a great space for your kid.
Thank you so much.
Sure. I'm so happy that we had this chat.
Me too. And it's like right in time for Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day, my friends. And thank you so much for being on this ride with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yay. This has been a Hoff Studios production. Executive producer, Laura Lucetti. I'm your host and creator, Daniela Rabbani. Come find me at Daniela Rabbani. My DMs are open and I want to hear everything. Also, if you like the show, please send it to a friend and leave a review because we are in this together.